OpenGL matrix operations. Simultaneously, with respect to two dimension, in three dimension as well, OpenGL consists of some operations with the help of which you can perform matrix operations with the help of that. I can tell these are some of the functions with the help of which you will perform different kind of operations, or I can say different type of performance in your code as well. The first OpenGL operation is GL matrix mode. So let's see what is this GL matrix mode. I guess we all have come across this function, that is GL matrix mode, in our code. So why do we use this matrix mode? This GL matrix mode is basically used to set what kind of model you are using in the program. Check out the definition. The GL matrix mode routine is used to set the projection mode, which designates the matrix that is to be used for the projection transformation. As we all know, the initial matrix which is being fed to the program is identity matrix. Then, if you are using this function, that is GL matrix mode, it basically tells you what kind of projection should be set, with the help of which you can perform or display an output onto the screen, and give you a destination with the help of which what kind of projection transformation is being done. Then, the model view mode can be set with the help of this function, that is GL matrix mode, that is GL model view. With the help of this parameter which you have defined inside the braces, it tells what kind of model you are using. This model can be of any type. Then, with the help of this command, it basically designates, with respect to three dimension, a 4 cross 4 model view matrix as the current matrix. In two dimension, basically we saw 3 cross 3 matrix. And with the help of this function or this command, we'll be setting what kind of matrix, that is 4 cross 4 matrix. Then, two other modes that can be set with the GL mode function is texture mode as well as color mode. Texture as well as color, this basically tells you what type of color to be fed to the model, as well as texture for that particular output, that is nothing but whatever you are displaying onto this screen. So this is an example for OpenGL matrix operation. This is one of the function, that is GL matrix mode, with the help of which you are just setting a model view, what kind of model to be used in the program. Then, similarly, in GL matrix mode, we'll check out what are the different functions which will be used with respect to this function, that is GL matrix mode. This texture matrix is used for mapping texture patterns to surfaces, and the color matrix is used to convert from one color to another color. As I told, GL matrix mode, with the help of this function, you can set two other functions, that is, one is color mode as well as texture mode. With the help of color mode, what you will be doing, you will be converting one type of color of that particular model to another color model. Then, type of texture, what does this texture does? In texture, basically it does the mapping of some patterns to that particular surfaces. Mapping of patterns is done with the help of texture matrices. There is something default which is being set to the program with respect to GL matrix mode, that is nothing but GL model view. I can call this as an argument as well as parameter, with the help of which you will be performing GL matrix mode function. Without this particular default argument, this matrix mode function does not work. With the following function, we assign the identity matrix to the current matrix. If I give this command, that is GL load identity, it basically tells the program that already a default matrix is being set, that is nothing but an identity matrix in which all the diagonals are set to 1. Then there is an alternate method for this. How to perform GL matrix mode with respect to GL load identity? An alternative method is we can assign other values to the elements of the current matrix using this particular command, that is load matrix. It might be a number of type, which is of element 16, which consists of these number of elements. If you want to change the matrix, that is identity matrix, to the another matrix, you can use this command, with the help of which you can change the data which is being present in that particular matrices. So this you need to remember. This command is very important while programming as well. If you want to change the data which is present in the matrix, or I can say if you want to change the contents of the matrix, if the initial matrix is identity matrix, with the help of GL load matrix, I can change the contents there. Then check out the last point. It is an array of floating point values which is specified with parameter. This is just representing, this point is representing this particular command in the PPT. Then this was about all your second part of your module. As I told, this module is divided into three different parts. What was the first part? Can someone remember what was the first part of this module? I can tell 3D weaving function was the first part of the module, and then in 3D we saw clipping as well. We started the module with 2D clipping, right? First we saw 2D clipping, then algorithms, that is Cohen-Sutherland algorithms, polygon fill area clipping, then we saw Sutherland-Hodgman polygon clipping, so on. Then we studied 3D geometric transformations, that is translation, scaling, and rotation. Then so on, we studied different 3D transformation as well. We saw affine transformations, and then we saw different OpenGL geometric transformation functions. Now, the last part of the module, now almost 60 to 70% of the module is done. That is third module. The last part of module is color as well as illumination models. This part, color as well as illumination model part, is basically interesting, where you'll check out the different types of color modules. Before moving on to the color modules, we'll check out some of the properties of color modules, and then properties of light, and different color models, which are very important questions with respect to your examination point of view as well. Then to begin with this part, that is the third part, I can say color as well as illumination model. Can someone tell what is the color? How will you get the color? Can someone from the class tell me how does we get color? When can our eyes see a color of something? Okay. To make it simpler, what do you require? Like, what can I say? What is the main most important aspect with the help of which you can see anything? I hope I'm clear. Like, if you want to see now, suppose you are seeing the screen of your mobile phone or the laptop. Tell me, what is the most important aspect if you want to see anything?
Light.
Light. Very good. As your friend told, light is one of the most important aspect which you want to see an object. So check out in the diagram as well. There are some essential elements so that an observer can see an object. If suppose this light, if this light is not present here, this observer cannot see the object which is being presented here. If suppose in your room there is a table, and your room doesn't have any source of light, such as sun, bulb, light, anything. If there is total darkness in the room, you can't see that particular table, right? So to check out the color, if you want to see the color of that particular object, the important element is light there. Light plays an important role in human life there. So we'll check out some of the properties of the light with respect to color, and then we'll move on to different models and so on. So before moving on to the properties of light, I want to tell some key points regarding to the color model, or I can say light as well. To define what is a color model, I can tell a color model is a specification, or I can say description of a 3D color coordinate systems, which consist of some visible subsets in the coordinate system within which all colors in a particular color range lie. For example, if I take an RGB color model, which is a unit cube there. I can tell it is an 3D coordinate system where all the colors are being included. That is, RGB colors are being included in that particular cube. There are some properties regarding this color model as well. The color model basically allows us to give some specifications of color so that you have some range with respect to that particular model. Then you need to remember some hardware oriented color model as well. In your syllabus there are 3 different hardware oriented color models. One is RGB, which is used for color CRT monitors. We saw in the first module color CRT monitors that which uses RGB color. Then YIQ, which basically use the broadcast TV color system, as well as CMY. The third model is CMY. I can tell what CMY defines as cyan, magenta, as well as yellow, which are used for printing some kind of devices, which uses these kind of models, that is hardware models, so that you can print anything using that particular models. Usually these models, whatever the 3 models I have specified, that is RGB, YIQ, as well as CMY, these are actually not easy to use because they does not relate directly to the color notions. That is nothing but it directly doesn't give you the color with respect to brightness or saturations. Therefore, we'll be using some other different color modules, which includes other properties with respect to that model, such as HSV, HLS, as well as HPC. These are some of the models which almost all the printers use, with the help of which you can print anything onto your paper there. So these are some of the key points you need to remember with respect to color, light, as well as color models. Then check out the points which are being specified in the PPT. The property possessed by an object of producing different sensations on an eye as a result of the way it reflects or emits light. This is one of the important definition of a color. I can tell the property possessed by an object, that is nothing but this is an object. There is some properties related to this particular object, right, such as dimension of the object, color of the objects. I can tell these are some of the properties of this object of producing different sensations. I can tell what is this statement tells is this object produce some dimensions as well as sensations, right, with the help of which you can identify this is an apple there on an eye as a result of the way it reflects or emits light. That is nothing but if light is being possessed onto this particular object, the reflection of that particular object is seen by an observer with the help of light. As I told, the important point or an element of this particular observation is light in this particular case there. Then to see color, 3 essential elements must be present. To see something, what is the initial element you want? Or I can say an organ of an human body. I can say it is an eye, right? It is one of the most important aspect you need to remember. It is already default in this case. Eye plays an important role. Eyesight plays an important role to see some object or anything. If you don't have, can a blind person see an object, anything? No. Exception one is no, but the exception is he can just sense the object with some parameters. So to see color, there are 3 different elements which you need to remember. One is light, object, as well as observer. These are the 3 important elements to check out a particular object is present or not. These are some of the observations you need to remember to see some color. So this is about color. Then properties of light. Can someone tell what is light? To be simpler to all, what is light? I'm asking to the class, can someone tell what is light? No? Everyone uses light, right, for some or the other thing. So tell me, what is light? You can define anything, it's okay. I don't want the exact answer or the definition. Tell me what is light. I don't want the definition which is written on the PPT. I want you people to define light, or else I won't proceed.
Photons.
Yeah, kind of. Any other definitions? It is simple, right? What is light? No, you're not getting what is light. Okay, I will tell. I can tell light as an natural agent, which is given, which is a gift for us. I can tell light is a natural agent which makes things visible. Right? Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
No. Yeah, I can tell light as a natural agent with the help of which each and everything's are being visible to us. That is human eye. So, what is light? To be very scientific about the definition, I can tell light is a narrow frequency which consists of some bands, which includes electromagnetic spectrum here. There is some range for each and every color. That is for electromagnetic spectrum for red is so and so hertz and violet is so and so hertz. Check out this important note here. We perceive electromagnetic energy which consists of wavelengths in the range 400 to 700 nanometer as visible light. If the range is from 400 to 700 nanometer, that is electromagnetic spectrum's range is so and so, only the light is visible at that time. So this is, you need to remember here the range. You need to remember the range, which is very important while you are specifying the properties of light. The range is 400 to 700 nanometer. With respect to this range itself, you can see any color with respect to light. If an object, as in the previous slide, the object was apple, right? Regarding, if you want to see the apple, the range of that particular object should lie between 400 to 700 nanometer. When light falls on it, if that particular spectrum of light falls under this particular range, at that time only you can check out the object. You can see the object with respect to that light. Then there are some properties of light. This is one of the important question. Do note down properties of light, definition of light, as well as properties of light. In properties law of light, usually you have three or four important properties. One is dominant frequency, brightness, purity, saturation. These are some of the points you need to remember with respect to light here. I'll just explain the properties of light with respect to the PPT here. Check out, this is an object. This the red part which is being displayed onto the screen is an object which consists of some parameters here. Whenever the light is being passed onto this absorbed object, it might be reflected, or it might be absorbed, or it might be transmitted. That is nothing but whenever light falls on any object, it should reflect. That is one point. That is nothing but the reverse part of that particular object should be seen, or the light should be absorbed. That is nothing but the light is absorbed within that particular object, or the light should be transmitted. That is nothing but it should be shifted from one part to another part. So this is the parameter how you specify light. Check out here the explanation of this part. When light strikes an object, wavelengths may be reflected, absorbed, or transmitted. So these are the three different cases when the light falls on some particular object. The wavelength of that particular object should be reflected, or it is absorbed, or it is transmitted to another form. Colorants can be mixed to control the wavelengths and colors we see. That is nothing but if you want to see the different colors of that particular object, the wavelengths of that particular object should be mixed up so that you can check out the different colors with respect to that particular object. to be simpler with respect to properties of light, how the light source we get, we'll check out that. Basically, a light source which is being produced by a sun, or what is the other source, like bulb, which consists of some frequencies, that is also having ranges with respect to visible range, so that it will give a light which is of color white. That is nothing but, whenever you have some source of light, that is sun or electric bulb, it should consist of some frequencies. It should emit some frequencies which within the range, that is, I can say, visible range, so that you will get a white light. When this light is incident upon an object, that is nothing but reflecting on an object, the frequencies are absorbed. Some are reflected, some are reflected, that is, the reflected object is being seen with respect to that particular object. The combination of reflected frequencies decide the color of an object. That is nothing but, if check out here, this is the reflection happening here. If the combination of reflection with respect to that particular frequencies is done, then I can say there is some different colors in that particular objects. If this frequencies keeps on varying, this, it might be lower or it might be higher as well, so that you will get different form of that particular object. Then the first important property of the light is dominant frequency. Dominant frequency in the sense, it basically varies the frequency. If you are noting it down, you can note the properties I am telling, which it should not confuse afterwards. The first property is dominant frequency. To tell what dominant frequency is, I'm just explaining what dominant frequency is. When white light is incident upon an object, the light from the light source is falling on an object, some frequencies are reflected and some are absorbed by the object. So this is the point you need to remember. When the light is falling on an object, the frequency of light are reflected and some are absorbed by the object. Then comes the combination. The combination of frequencies present in the reflected light basically tells what we give and what we get from that particular object. As I told, if there is some variation in the frequencies of light, then you'll get different features of that particular object. Then in dominant frequency, you need to remember the brightness as well. What does this brightness tell? It basically tells the intensity of that particular light there. Then comes the saturation. Saturation, what does saturation tell? It basically tells you the purity of the color. That is nothing but what color shade is. Then the second important property of light is purity. The purity is one of the characteristics of light. I can tell how pure is the light is. It basically tells how much pure the color of light appears. In this purity, there are sub properties, that is two properties. One is purity as well as dominant frequency, which are basically used collectively so that you will get a color characteristics, which are also referred as chromaticity. I can tell if I combine purity as well as dominant frequency, it refers to chromaticity, that is combination of purity of light as well as frequency. Then two different color light sources with some chosen intensities can be used so that you can produce some other color as well, that is combination of colors. Suppose if I take combination of colors such as red as well as cyan, green as well as magenta, blue as well as yellow, which are actually a complementary color pairs, with the help of which you will get different color as well. So these are some of the properties you need to remember with respect to light here. Then this is the representation where visible light is an electromagnetic wave which consists of range 400 to 700, where the wavelength lies between this as well as this. If the range is this, that is 400 nanometer, you should get a violet light. 700 nanometer, you should get a red light. Then I actually told all this properties with respect to light. For that, I'll just read out the key points with respect to properties. The first point is defined as Monochromatic light can be described by the frequency f and then wavelength lambda. I can define light property as C is equals to lambda f, where C tells you the speed of light. I can define this equation as speed of light, at what range the light travels here. Then a ray of light contains many different waves with individual frequencies. That is, if a light is projected on something, as it defines some rays which consist of that particular object, it consists of some different frequency as well. Then the distribution of wavelength, where the wavelength is referred as spectrum of a given ray or light source. So with respect to light, wavelength as well as frequency are the most important aspects you need to remember here. Then a light source such as the sun or a standard household light bulb emit all frequencies within the visible range to produce white light. I discussed this particular point. When white light is incident upon an object, some frequencies are reflected and some are absorbed. So this diagram tells some are reflected and some are absorbed by the object. Then the frequency or mix of frequencies of the light determines the color. The amount of light is the intensity. What is intensity? As I told, intensity tells you the brightness of that particular object. Then you have three independent quantities which are used to describe the color. One is hue, saturation, as well as lightness or brightness of that particular object. Then this is an additional points for properties of light, that is psychological characteristics of color. One is dominant frequencies. I can tell it as hue. What does this dominant frequency tells is the color we see. That is nothing but whatever the color which has been visible to our eyes. I can tell that particular color is visible only when some dominant frequency is being applied onto that particular object, right? That is, the color might be red, green, or purple, or I can say red, green, or blue there. That is RGB color. Then comes the brightness, the total light energy, how bright the color is, how bright are the lights which are being illuminating on the object. That is nothing but the brightness of the object. Then comes the saturation or purity, which tells how pure the light is being, which is being projected onto that particular object. Then some of the, as I told, this is one of the example which tells you the three properties of color, that is nothing but dominant frequency, brightness, as well as purity. When we call an object red, we are referring it to its hue. Hue is determined by the dominant wavelength, where each and every color of this particular object consists of some wavelength with respect to that particular color there. Then another property of the particular color is lightness or brightness, which basically refers to the amount of light the color reflects or transmits. How intensity of an object or light can be determined is, intensity can be determined by the actual amount of light which is being projected onto the object, with more light corresponding to more intense colors. That is nothing but the number of light which is being circulated across some of the frequencies. So this is how intensity is being determined with respect to an object. Then how saturation is found. The saturation of a color ranges from neutral to brilliant. Neutral to brilliant in the sense you can get a negative as well in this particular formation, where the circle on the right is a more vivid red than the circle on the left, although both have the same hue. That is nothing but all these circles in this particular screen which is being represented here consist of the shades of red, right? But check out the last mode as well as the first most circle. This is the dark red. This is, I can say, light pink. I can tell these are some of the shades of red which can be represented as hue as well. Basically here intensity, brightness, as well as purity comes here, where this is less pure if we compare this particular circle with respect to first one, and this is more this consists of more purity if you consider and compare the first circle as well as the last circle of this particular example. Then the saturation is determined by the excitation purity, that is nothing but the brightness of the object, and it basically depends on the amount of white light which is mixed with that particular color, that is nothing but hue there. A pure hue is fully saturated. Check out. I can call this as a pure hue, that is nothing but a pure color of red, which is fully saturated, which is in full form, that is nothing but full red, that is no white light mixed in. Hue and saturation together determine the chromaticity of a given color. Check out this point. This is very important. This might be asked for 2 markers in your sub question. How chromaticity of a color is being determined. I can tell chromaticity is determined by combination of white color. That is nothing but no white color should be mixed in it. I'm sorry. How chromaticity of a given color is determined is there should be no white color mixed in that particular object. If I mix some white color in this, this color starts shading, right? If I keep on adding some white color for this red color, this object keep on shading. That is nothing but you will get the lighter image of that particular object. So that is what chromaticity is. If your hair is fully saturated, that is, if you are not mixing white color, hue and saturation together, that is nothing but the saturation of this particular object as well as color of this particular object which is being displayed basically determines the chromaticity of a given color. In this example, the color is red. I'm finding the chromaticity of red with respect to this particular example. Then, as I told, you need to remember some of the key points with respect to the properties as well as characteristics of colors. As I told, the first property is dominant frequency. The second is brightness, purity. How dominant frequency is considered with respect to that particular color there. How brightness is taken with respect to some area under which the curve is being represented in this particular example, which tells you the total light energy of that particular object. Then purity, how purity is been defined, how close a light appear to be pure, that is nothing but spectral color such as red. This is the range which is being represented, that is red as well as violet, which consists of some frequency with respect to which the light energy is being falling on that particular object. Then, if you want to calculate purity of an object or the purity of the color, the formula is ED as well as EW, where ED is nothing but the dominant energy density, that is nothing but the maximum density of light. Then EW is white light energy density, that is nothing but the initial density of light. Dominant energy density is nothing but the maximum energy of light. EW, that is nothing but white light energy density, is basically the minimum energy which is being falling on that particular object, with the help of which you will be calculating the dominant frequency with respect to the range specified in that particular object depending on the frequency specified. So this is how you calculate purity of that particular object or light. And in the next slide, I have mentioned some of the color models. As I told, there are different color models used by different hardware devices such as RGB, CMYK, spot, so on. Each and every device, that is nothing but different color devices uses different color models. So we'll check out this color models in the upcoming class, in the next class, that is tomorrow's class. So we'll check out how this color models, how RGB color model works, what are the primary colors of that particular color model. Then we'll check out how this color model based functionality happens, how it was developed, and so on in the next class. Okay. So what did we study in the today's class? Which we saw, we started from we started from OpenGL matrix operations, where we saw different matrix mode, how to define a matrix mode. Then we saw what are some of the functionalities you need to remember with respect to matrix modes. Then we started with color models. We saw what is a light, we saw what is a color, and then we checked out some of the properties of light here. In today's class, the important questions were definition of light, properties of light, and then whatever we studied in the previous part, that is nothing but OpenGL geometric transformations, that is basic OpenGL geometric transformation functions with respect to 3 dimensions. Okay, any doubts in today's class, students?
No, sir.
Yeah. Do remember the properties of light looks vast, but you need to remember what are some of the properties which are being defined with respect to light. If you know those, you can define each and every property easier. Okay, easily you can define each and every property if you know the key point of that particular property very